The piano, perhaps the best-known keyboard instrument of them all. Here is an interesting video showing you the history of the piano, from the harpsichord to the pianoforte to the forte piano that we have today.
The concert grand is a spectacular instrument. It's capable of holding its own against an entire symphony orchestra. This really is the equivalent of a Ferrari. It's precision engineered, it's gorgeous to look at, and it can be very, very loud. Now, the piano has come a long way since it arrived on the scene back in the early 18th century. Then this was a genteel instrument designed for the well-heeled aristocrat or his accomplished young daughter to play. So how did those early prototypes evolve into the modern pianos we know today? London's Royal Academy of Music is home to hundreds of pianos in practice rooms, offices and concert spaces, workhorses for the 700 musicians studying here. The Academy also houses a collection of historic keyboard instruments, the ideal place to come in search of the DNA of the modern piano. Resident keyboard expert Elena Vorotko introduces me first to the harpsichord. First of all, tell me, what is a harpsichord? What does it do?
Well, harpsichord is basically a laid-down flat harp with artificial nails, so to speak, little quills that pluck the string as they pass by it. Would you like to try?
Yeah. It's a very odd sensation for a pianist, because I'm used to playing something and I can play really loud. That doesn't sound very loud. Or I can play really soft. It sounds exactly the same and I can't sort of get it to do what I want to do. Stepping forward from the 18th century harpsichord, the next stage in the development of the modern piano has a much more familiar sound to us in the 21st century. OK, Elena, well, we're 50 years on from the harpsichord that we were just playing. It already sounds softer, rounder, like you can have some more control over whether it's loud or soft. It's a very different instrument, isn't it?
That's right. This is a Viennese fortepiano of 1815. Instead of a jack that plucks the string, you've got a little hammer.
This is a forte piano, so a loud soft. So this is the instrument that gives you all the control that you want. Almost. Allegedly.
There is loud and soft, but it's not as obvious still as it is on the modern piano. Do you want to try?
I'm going to try something. Let's see if we can do a little soft playing. There, I can do something and I can make it quieter. So that does feel very much more like the kind of instrument I'm used to. But it's got things added to it that make it more than just a simple piano. There is a bell over there.
Not only a bell, there is also a drum. There's a drumstick inside the piano, which is operated by the very right pedal. And here is how it sounds like.
That is the craziest and best piano I think I've ever heard. That is like, you know, the one-man band, the guy with the cymbals and the drum on his head and playing the accordion. This is everything you would ever want in a musical instrument. It's crazy, but it's not a modern piano. The great turning point for the piano came because one man in Vienna was losing his hearing. As Beethoven grew progressively more deaf, he found himself cut off from the world around him and from his own music. He wanted desperately to hear the radical compositions he was creating, and the pianos he had simply weren't up to the job. What was needed was something new, and to find it we have to come here to the National Museum in Budapest. Out of sheer frustration, Beethoven would thump his Viennese piano so hard that the strings would snap and the hammers would splinter. And then, in 1817, this showed up. It was a state-of-the-art machine, a gift made by John Broadwood and Sons. They had it sent by boat from London to Trieste and then on a wagon to Beethoven's home in Vienna. And overnight, this piano changed his musical universe. I have wanted to see this piano for years because for me, this is the Big Bang moment for the keyboard. It's on this piano, this Broadwood, that Beethoven writes newly explosive, percussive, dynamic, passionate music. This is the birth of the modern piano. Today's modern piano is a triumph of craftsmanship and engineering. With its strong metal frame and complex action comprising 12,000 parts, it can take up to a year to build. And after all that work, here is the finished item, a 21st century concert grand ready for action.
If you enjoyed the piano, there are 2 pieces for you to listen to below. They are both for 4 people playing on 4 grand pianos. I couldn't choose between them, and that's why there's 2. I hope you listen to at least one of them and that you enjoy it.